My presentation is divided into three parts. One is the visualization of Gautama Buddha in different medium, in the stone carving, in the period till 9th to 10th century, 11th century in India. Then the European colonial period, and then Indian artists, how they depicted Gautama Buddha in their works. So my most important part is the last part. So because of the timing, so I will just go through quickly, because the 19th, 18th century, 17th century, we will just go through that quickly. So this is the map of Buddhist religious sites and archaeological sites today, and all over the world, India and other subcontinents, Southeast Asia. Here I have shown one very important sculpture after death of Gautama Buddha. The next year there is a conference. After 100 years, another international conference of Gautama Buddha and his philosophy was held. Then there is a group of 18 philosophers or philosophical aspects that spreaded in India and different parts. Now the rule of King Ashoka that we know everybody, the one of the great king of India, who has changed the philosophy, who has enlightened by Gautama Buddha's philosophy and showcase the world and bring the limelight of the great philosopher of the world, Gautama Buddha. And during his period, not only India, he has sent his own son, Mahendra, and his daughter to Sri Lanka. She was carried the Bodhi tree, expanding the philosophy of Lord Buddha. And this is the great Bharat or India during the Ashoka period, how the Buddhism spread it all over India and other part of the Asia. But during 9th to 11th century, there is a ideological exchange of Hinduism and Buddhism, and in Agni Purana, in Hindu Buddhism, we have found the Buddha was incarnated as 9th avatara of Vishnu. This is a painting from mid-19th century from Kolkata, Calcutta, India, where you can see the Buddha was sitting beside the Kalki avatara. This is the Buddha. And during that 11th century, the Buddhist monk like Ashish Dipankar and all, lots of the philosophy was spreaded to Southeast Asia, China, Japan, Indonesia, Burma, Myanmar, and so on. Now come to the India during 14th century onwards, 13th century onwards. So the Mughal came to India and established their emperor from Babur to Shah Jahan. So a great Mughal period, but that time no one discussed about that great man. He was hidden into the timeline. But the changes happened during 18th century. The East India Company came to India for trading, and Shah Alam, the emperor of India, has given the Diwani to him to doing the business. So they came for the business, but they Along with this business dealing, they came with some archaeologist, photographer, topographer to India. And they started finding the India to different angle. They searched what is the history of India. So they found several archaeological sites. In 1819, the John Smith, first person who went for a hunting near Ajanta, and he found the Ajanta cave. He called some of the Indian people to come and digging the space, and he found, he has inscripted his name, and after that Ajanta came to everybody's eyes of the European artist, and European artist, topographer, painter, they came, Ajanta, Ellora, and they documented the great Buddha's life. This is the painting of John Griffith. I will show you some of his painting. These are all Ajanta murals. Still, whenever you can visit Ajanta, you can see. Another artist from Europe, William Simpson, he also spent several time in Ajanta, and he painted Ajanta's painting. Another very famous lithographer, engraver, John Ferguson. So John Ferguson came India and recorded the Buddhist sites through his. These all are in before 1850s on those times. So they recorded all the sites they have found, and through this kind of documentation and prints, the European find there is something is there in India. Let's go and search about the Indian history, the philosophy, what is this? So earlier people forgot everything. These all are John Ferguson's prints. Now, this is very interesting print. This person named William Hodges, he was depicted one print of Gautama Buddha. He has mentioned this as a pagoda, but in his image we can see this is the temple, because this is a Trishul, this is a Hindu temple. But we believe in Hindus never used to name them a temple as a pagoda. The pagoda is in Buddhist. So maybe this is a Buddhist temple or a Hindu temple. Still it is unknown for us, but this is a very interesting visual story that we can communicate or we can discuss later on. This is the earliest photograph of Ajanta Ellora. This is by 1850s, Francis Fred. Now the India faced 1857, the political changes happened and India faced a mutiny, is called Sipai Bidroh. The soldiers, the Indian soldiers fought against the Europeans, and during that time, Queen Victoria took the power of India. She told, enough, East India Company, you came for a trading, but you cannot run the India what I was wanted to. So now I have taken in my power. So British rule established. So when British rule established in India as a government, so they changed their theories, policies, and the policy was to change in the education system. So they started government school, colleges, and they started making a new era for the Indian education. And this era will start with a government school of art, the art education. So this gentleman, Henry Havelock, came to Calcutta as a principal or superintendent of Government College of Art, and our students, Indian students, enter into the college and learn about the printmaking, technology, art aesthetics through the European techniques. On that time, government of India, the British rule, they appointed this person, Dr. Raja Rajendra Lal Mitra, to find out the Buddhist sites. So they make a commission and they sent him to Odisha and Bodh Gaya along with the Indian artist. The first time the Indian artist painted Gautama Buddha in lithography print. Before that, all the Europeans, they painted, they designed, but this is the first time during 1859-60s, the Rajendra Lal Mitra, along with the 4 students, Annada Prasad Bakshi, Chudi Lal, so they went to visit Odisha and Bodh Gaya. And this is there is a book, very famous book called Antiquity of Odisha, so where the lithography prints of Gautama Buddha and his life was printed and imaged. This is another book, his name is Bodh Gaya, and you can see the print by Annada Prasad Bakshi, the student of Government College of Art. He painted Gautama Buddha's life. All are there in Bodh Gaya, so it was came to the public eyes. This is another 2 prints of Gautama Buddha. Some of the early structural, monumental structure, archaeological structure of Buddha Vihars. Now, this is during this period, 1870-78, our Indians learned lot of technology, paintings, but everything belongs to the European eyes. So now, Annada Prasad Bakshi started a new school of art called Calcutta Art Studio, and they painted several mythological figures, including Gautama Buddha. So Annada Prasad Bakshi, the artist Annada Prasad Bakshi, there is a very popular lithograph he painted through this Calcutta Art Studio, and this print of the Calcutta Studio was flourished to India everywhere. Everybody got a very popular. This print is very popular. So once it is popular, the British European agent got this idea, and there are another Gautama Buddha's lithography print by Hindu Art Studio. So this popularity catch the European eyes, and this Bergman and Rigaud, that is an European agent, they sent this print to the Germany. So they bought this print from India and sent to Germany to make this, it is in a porcelain figures. So they buy from India, send to Europe, and they make the same lithograph into the porcelain. So India, at that time, India don't have any porcelain factories. So Buddha print by Indian artist sent to Europe, and European artist designed this porcelain and came to India during late 19th century. Another print of Dasavatara, where you can see Gautama Buddha, and European make these porcelains of Dasavatara, where they duplicated this print in a porcelain figures. And these figures are very popular during 19th century. Some more popularity. This is made in Japan during late 19th century, before First World War. The porcelain came to India in Calcutta. Now not only porcelain, there are some Buddhist image. You can see the Gautama Buddha in the book of Thomas Morris. Then the same image is printed in a Bengali book. Same image printed in Bengali book. So I just going quickly for shorter time. This is another Saurendra Tagore. He was a musicologist. He written the Dasavatara song. So on his book, the Gautama Buddha was printed in a lithograph, and Gautama Buddha looked like a Hindu Indian Brahmin. Next, the Gautama Buddha printed in woodcut in various books. This is another woodcut of Buddhist monk by Priya Gopal Das, a very famous woodcutter during 19th century. Now, it is an interesting story. I can explain for a long time, but for the short time I just tell you. This is the Baptist mission place. The Christian missionary came to spread Christianism. So they printed a book where this book called Bharatvarsher Pradhan Temple, the major temples in India. In that book, they have written about the Buddhist temples, not only India and Southeast Asia. This book printed 1890s about, they have given all the story of Gautama Buddha and his life after how it was spreaded. But unfortunately, in this book, they have mentioned lot of negative words about the Buddhism comparing to Christianism. So this is the propaganda of the Christian missionaries during 19th century in India. And this is the collection I got from Mr. Pratt. So this is the early 20th century lithography print from Maharashtra of Gautama Buddha's life. These are early 20th century prints. Now, Indian artists like Abanindranath Tagore, he was painted. These are the prints of Gautama Buddha. This is the person, Upendra Kishore Rai Chaudhuri, who has introduced half-tone printing in India. And through his book, the publications, several prints of Gautama Buddha's life, like Asit Kumar Haldar, artist, several paintings are made it into prints and popular art in India during 19th century and early 20th century before India got freedom. So some of this Buddha's life, the story, this is the magazine, they published lot of Buddha story in prints. Another, there are some different, these are our 4 prints of different artists. I no longer to read because it will take time. Now the last part of this, the India got freedom in 1947, and we believe Sarva Dharma Samannay, all the nation, all the culture together to make a Bharat, the great nation. So once we made our constitution, our constitution is not a few textual discussion. Our constitution is also a pictorial depiction of Indian story of journey. In our constitution, the prominent pages are mentioned the life of Buddha. These are the pages from our Constitution of India, and we believe that India belongs to the country belongs to Gautama Buddha, country belongs to Rabindranath Tagore, country belongs to Asia, all of us together. The Gautama Buddha, the Ashoka's expedition, and the great Mahavihar, Nalanda, the study of knowledge. The knowledge what today they have given, we are spreading the same word. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Bhattacharya, for your great and insightful presentation.